Oh my goodness. It has been so long. I never intend for these breaks between episodes to be so long, but it just happens. It happens to me so often. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really sorry. This is episode 33. My name is Amber. This is a Lovely Yarn video podcast. I talk about mostly knitting. Thank you for watching. So, last time I filmed was it July, I think? And I said that I would hopefully record again in a month, and it didn't happen. And at that time I shared the giveaway, my 5,000 subscriber giveaway. So I have that winner. I will get into that in this podcast episode. I also have a lot. How many finished objects? I have 5 finished objects. Yay! So it's not that I haven't been knitting, it's just that life has been extremely busy. I mentioned in the last episode that my oldest son, Sergey, was going to get married in August, and him and his now wife had a beautiful wedding. It was funny because we had basically 2 weeks of rain leading up to their wedding. In fact, somebody told me at the coffee shop I work at, a customer was telling me that we had 5 sunny days in August here in Western Pennsylvania. So we happened to be blessed by God, and the Saturday they got married, it was beautiful. And the reason that was so important is because the ceremony was in our backyard. So we were kind of sweating there up until it rained up until Thursday, and then Friday was dry, Saturday was dry and sunny, so that was wonderful. And it was a beautiful wedding. And I was excited because while I was at work today, the photographer that took all the photos for their wedding came in, and she told me that she is getting ready to send the photos to the link to Aaliyah. And so I'll be able to take a look at the photos. For any of you that are having children that are getting married, I just want to suggest something. I'm going to remember this for the next wedding that I am a part of. Give your phone to somebody you trust to take candid photos of you and your children and your family, because I hardly got any photos that night, and I'm super bummed about it. I wish I would have, but I didn't, because I was just too busy talking to people and just taking everything in. Okay, so we are going to get started with some knitting, and I hope, one of the bad things about waiting so long between episodes and waiting so long after I finish an object is I forget a lot. And so when I'm knitting things, I think I should jot this down. This might be helpful. And then I think I'll remember it. I should know better than that, right? So I want to show you, I have 5 finished objects, a couple whips, and then I kind of I went without buying yarn for so long that I kind of went crazy. So I have some stuff to show you that I purchased, some beautiful things. Okay, so first up, my Rift tee. And this is by Jacqueline Seaslick. And so I'm going to insert a photo at some point here of me wearing this, because I took some photos for Ravelry. But I'm not going to put it on right now because I don't feel like it. I worked all day today, and I was like throwing around I was trying to figure out if I wanted to podcast. Normally I like to do it on a day that I'm home, but we're back into our homeschooling now. So because I work 2 days a week during the school week, I like to make sure that I'm fully present on those 3 days that I'm home in case the kids need help. And so I thought I better just do it today, because tomorrow I want to be present. I don't want to be in my bedroom with the door shut filming a video. So I'm just going to show you this, and then I'm going to link, or I'll insert a picture. So here it is, my Rift tee. And I absolutely love it. I love it. The problem is it's been so long since I finished this that I don't remember if I modified anything. I did modify the gauge to work with the yarn, and the yarn is Quince & Co. Willet. The color is Hauser. I chose to do the V-neck in the front and the boat neck in the back. I could make it reversible if I wanted. The pattern is made so you can do it reversible, but I like V-necks on myself. And I did talk about adjusting my gauge because the yarn was not the weight that the pattern asked for or suggested. And so if you want to see how I did that, you can go back to my last episode, episode 32, and there is a link in the description, which is where I put all the details, the things I talk about. There's a link to an article by Tin Can Knits, I believe, that talks about how you can adjust your formula, or your how to figure out how to adjust your gauge for the yarn you're using. So if you are interested in seeing how to do that, it's super easy. They give a formula, you plug your numbers in, and it's just amazing that you can do that. And somehow I went all those years knitting without realizing that. So I don't know. So that's why I shared it. But anyway, so it's a split hem and it is longer in the back. I think that's how it was written in the pattern, but possibly I adjusted that. I like the panel on the side. This is a little slip stitch panel. I think that's how I did that. Pretty sure that's what it looks like. Again, it's been a while since I finished this. So here, this is how I am. I like to finish an object and then I don't like to wear it until I podcast about it. So I've only worn this one time. I wore it right after it finished blocking, and my husband and my sister and her husband were going out on a nice dinner date, and I thought, I'm wearing it. And I wore it, actually, the way I styled it was over a black, it's like a black tighter dress. So it would, okay, so the skirt portion of it would be like wearing a pencil skirt. So it was really cute. I loved it so much. And so I'm gonna wear this again because I need to. Actually, we're still having 80-degree weather here, which is really strange for September. And honestly, so I work at a coffee shop, and when I work, for some reason, I get so hot. So I do not really wear warm clothing there. So I think I could probably pull this off at work because it is 100% cotton, and the sleeves are very short. So I think I could do this at work with a pair of jeans. So yeah, super happy with this. I love it. In fact, I wound up the yarn to do another one, and I talked about it in my last episode. Little Fox yarn, the willow base in the color smudge. I had bought that at the yarn shop in Swansboro, North Carolina, the Salty Sheep. Yeah. So I wound that up right after I finished this one, and then I never cast it on. And now I don't know that I will. I'll probably wait until spring. Although I may have enough to do a long sleeve version of it, which I would actually really love. I need to figure out the yardage with this because I actually this is how much I had left over. This is almost 2 full skeins. So I need to figure out how much I used to make this, because I could totally I would definitely make another one of these and make it a long sleeve version. I love how this fits me. It's perfect for wearing over dresses, which is how I like to wear a lot of my sweaters. So yes, the Rift Tee by Jacqueline Cieslik, and I think that's all I have to say about that. Okay, the next thing I was working on when I filmed last were these Zauberball socks. So I didn't realize that these were not repeating at all until many of you lovely viewers told me you're not going to get a repeat because it's not made that way. It's made to be completely random. And so here they are. Here are my random socks. It is funny though how the top looks very similar, at least in color scheme. And the bottom kind of has the same colors in it too. More pastel, more yellow and dark green up top. So that was kind of interesting. These are just plain socks, 60 stitches cast on. I probably did 15 rounds of 1x1 rib, slip stitch heel. I like that heel because it makes it a nice durable. I switch between this one and the modified Eye of Partridge, and then I just do the Kitchener stitch toe. But there's not a whole lot to say about these because they're just plain socks. And surprisingly, these are my only finished socks. I haven't really been, usually I knit socks a lot, and I haven't really been knitting a ton of socks, which is kind of weird. So, and also these yarns for the heel, or for the cuff, the heel, and the toe, I really don't know. They're just random. So I don't remember. You know, like most knitters, I think I have multiple baskets of just fingering weight yarns that are just leftovers. So I just pick in there a lot of times when I'm doing the heels, toes, and cuffs for socks. So Zauberball, I'll put the info down below in case you like this particular colorway. And I honestly feel like I have a ton. I didn't weigh it, but it looks like I could make a whole nother pair of socks with even this length of a leg on it. So we shall see. I have to be honest though, I don't know. I thought it would be fun knitting with that yarn, but I didn't really enjoy it. And I don't know why. I don't know why it was. It's so weird. Because even as I knitted, it felt more like a chore. And that's strange because I thought it would be fun. So I don't know. I don't know what happened there. Okay. My next one is a shawl. This has been done for a very long time. I started knitting this on our way to, oh my gosh, I think it was, when was that? Did I even have any of this done last time when I podcasted? Let me see if I can see the date in my notes. June 29th is the last time I filmed. Good grief. Okay, so that's crazy. Is that for real? I'm looking in my tablet, but I'm like, is that really for real? That's crazy. Oh my goodness. It looks like maybe I had just started it or I was planning because I have it listed as a whip. It's done. It's been done. I worked on it on our way to South Carolina. We went to Charleston to see our friends, and I worked on it in the car the whole way there, the whole way back. I never knit when I'm down there because I'm too busy seeing my friend Liz. So, you know, we're visiting and having all kinds of fun. So I don't honestly pick my knitting up at all while we visit them, but I love it for that long car ride. And so this is the Vertices Unite. And I made the big version. There's two versions in the pattern. I made the biggest. I should have taken a picture. I think I'll take a picture of this and insert it in here too because it's big. So I don't know if it's gonna fit in real well, but okay. So here we go. Let me just bring it across. I can't even see. I cannot even see. I don't even know what you guys are seeing. It's just really big. It's really long. Okay. I like big shawls. So let me put it on. See if I can tilt this down at all. Oh gosh. I need a tripod for my phone. I have a bunch of textbooks for my kids. Oh, good grief. Stand by. Okay, I don't know. I need a tripod. Okay, because everything is very precarious. Let me just try to stand up a little bit. See how big it is? I have all this extra hanging down here. I could wrap it around my neck twice. I love it. It was so much fun to make. So do you remember when I did Tammy Gore's color craze shawl last summer? Or maybe it was I think it was 2 summers ago. This was fun like that because it's done in sections and it's done with lots of different yarns, which is really fun. So you don't get bored. At least you don't get terribly bored. This middle section is, here, this one right here, the largest, it's section A. It's in the middle of the shawl. That's why I called it the middle. But it took an entire skein of fingering weight, and that is Little Lion Head Magnolia Wind, I think is the name of that. I couldn't find the tag, but it's really, really pretty. It took an entire skein. In fact, I had that much of a tail left at the end. So I was getting a little nervous, and I remember I was in the car on the way to South Carolina when I finished that portion, because I remember thinking, well, I'm gonna maybe have to just put something in to finish it off, but I'd prefer not to, and I didn't have to. And then I don't know what this mint is because it was gifted to me. This is like a minty colored yarn. It was gifted to me a while back by a podcast viewer. And then I used that with this red to stripe. And then I also had another red, which was a different red because I ran out of the first one, but I had another little scrap of this red and I striped it with just some random scrap that I found that I think somebody sent to me because I've never made anything with it. So someone must have sent it as a gift, as well as this one too. This was another scrap I must have gotten in a swap. And then I just did the I-cord binding the whole way around. I did that in a mauve that someone had sent me as a gift, and I had made a hat for my daughter several years back. So this is so good to use up scraps. Now, you do need to have for section A, and then this section here, which I cannot remember which section that is. This took almost a whole skein. That mint section took almost a whole skein of yarn. So you do need a whole skein for section A if you're doing the largest, and almost a whole skein for this section, which wouldn't it be helpful if I would have written down what section that is? I liked this so much that I am actually planning to make a fall/winter version of it. This is very summery because of the colors. So it's so fun because you get to pick out the different yarns and like some people stripe. In fact, this is by Stephen West. Did I say that? I think he even striped I think he striped almost every section, and I chose not to stripe every section. I just did the striping on the 2 sections with the red. But it's really a fun knit, and it uses up the scraps. So Vertices Unite, Stephen West, largest version is the one that I did. I am having all kinds of problems today with my phone and keeping it where it needs to be to film. So I think the frame probably looks different, but oh well. The important thing is I'm actually doing this today. I think what happens sometimes is I take so long in between filming that I feel overwhelmed with all that I have to talk about. And so the perfectionist in me says, don't do it until the situation is extremely perfect, that you can sit down and give every single detail and you feel perfectly like in the mood to podcast and everything has to be perfect. But my 40-some-year-old self knows that that's just not a good idea because nothing's ever perfect, and I'm never going to be in the perfect mood, although sometimes I'm in more of a mood to podcast than others, but we're just going to go with it today. Okay. All right. Next finished object. I've got 2 left. This is the next to the last. Okay. So this pattern is called the Christopher hat, and this is my version, and it is done, the pattern is by Jane Richmond, and the yarn I used, okay, so this pattern, I have made this hat so many times. It calls for, I think, worsted weight yarn. Maybe it's DK, but I've always made it in worsted weight. And I just have to say, I cannot recommend this hat enough if you want a really thick, warm hat. I have made it for my dad, Brad, my son, my daughter. I have made it for my, did I make it? No, I stole my daughter's from her. Yeah, that, and I've made it for gifts. Somebody paid me, so I did it as a commission one time. So you basically knit this really long tube. You start by increasing. You get to the size, like the width that you need, the diameter that you need, circumference that you need. There we go. I got it right. And then you just knit, 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 knit this really, really long tube. And then you decrease on the other side for the crown, and then you stuff the one side up in, you attach it inside, you just put some stitches to attach it, and then there you go. So I just fold the brim up because I made it long enough that I could fold the brim. The pattern, the original pattern, does not have the folded brim in it, but it doesn't, you can easily adjust it because you just make your tube longer. And here, let me put it on. Oh, it's super warm. It is super warm. And this is made with yarn from Little Lionhead Knits. It is, stand by. Oh, I had it here all along. I want to show you what these yarns look like separate, because it's a mohair and a fingering weight. So this is called Roosevelt Island, and this is the fingering weight. It's 25.75 merino nylon. And then this is the mohair, and it's called Afternoon Cappuccino. Yeah. And when you put them together, this is what you get. This is going to be perfect for the cold, snowy winter because it's so warm. So basically you have 4 layers over your ears, 2 layers over your head. So it's an amazingly warm hat, and it's super easy to make. So I really do recommend this. Now, I thought I would have to adjust the pattern a little bit because I was using the fingering and the lace, but I think, I'm trying to remember, and it's on my phone. I never printed it because it's too simple. I didn't want to waste the paper. So I just referred to it on my phone as needed, and I film on my phone. So I can't look right now, but it is, I think it's written for a DK. So this, a fingering and a mohair would equal a DK, because I didn't have to adjust how many I cast on. At least I don't think so. Again, I should have wrote this down. I'm so sorry. But it's a nice pattern, and like I said, I've made a ton of them. Let me see if I can get a close up. It's perfect for fall, isn't it? Although I'm not quite ready for fall yet. Actually, Lily and I went yesterday, my daughter Lily, after she finished her schoolwork, we went to TJ Maxx, and I bought a fall candle. And it smelled so good. It was like, I think it's called Farmer's Market. Yeah, that's what it's called. I don't burn a lot of candles because I'm really careful about what I have in my house that's scented, and I usually use just essential oils, but I diffuse. But I decided I'm gonna get a fall candle because I'm really trying to embrace the seasons, because I'm really a spring and summer girl at heart. Any of you that have watched this for a long time know that. So Lily and I smelled a ton of candles. Our noses and brains were completely overstimulated by all the scents. And we settled on this Farmer's Market scent, and it smells really good. And then we went out from the store and got in the car, and it was 89 degrees. And I said to her, yeah, we are not burning this today. We are gonna wait until we have like a proper feeling fall day, and then we'll light it. kind of like in celebration. So, but these are perfect fall colors. It's coming, oh, it's much deeper orange than what it's showing on the screen. I don't know. Nice and fuzzy and warm. Okay. So that's my hat. My last finished object, I knit this in 2 weeks. I am so impressed with myself. It's hanging up back here. Let me move my basket. It's still really actually quite damp, almost wet. I was hoping to take a picture of it on, but it's okay. Let me just grab it down here. So this is the Felix pullover by Amy Christophers. I've had this in my queue on Ravelry for a while now. I just really love the eyelets on the raglan increases, and I just noticed that I like simple things. I like to wear simple hand knits. Not that I wouldn't, I mean, I have a desire to knit more complicated sweaters, but it's such an investment of time. I just don't know that I'm in the right season of my life with working and homeschooling and, you know, all that stuff. But so that's why I like simple sweaters. So I just love this color. Look at this color. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. It brings out my eyes, which you can't tell right now because, you know, you can't really see that on camera. The lighting is not very good because it's extremely overcast today. But this is one of my favorite colors. And this is Barocco Mercado yarn. I think this has wool and alpaca in it. I think it's a blend of wool and alpaca. I have one right here. I should just look. And I actually had just got this before my last podcast and I was talking about it. Oh, it's 100% Peruvian Highland wool. Okay, there you go. So I bought this at Yarns by Design in Oakmont, which is local-ish to me. And I bought this back in June. Yes. And I was going to cast it on right away, and then I didn't. But I cast this on 2.5 weeks ago, and I knitted it in 2 weeks. I don't even know how that happened, because I have to say that I'm usually really good. So I prefer to knit top-down sweaters because I like to be able to try them on. But I'll usually get through the yoke or the raglan increases. I'll split for the sleeves. And then, you know, it's a lot of sweaters that I knit are just stockinette in the body. And I get super bored with the stockinette. So that is a bit of a problem. And that's usually why sweaters take me so long to knit, because I just get bored with the stockinette. But this one, I think because it's Aran weight yarn, so that's another reason it goes really, really fast. And I just really wanted this sweater in a really bad way. And so I think that also helped speed me through. So here we are. It's meant to be a cropped sweater. And, it's pretty wet, but maybe I'll throw it on real quick. Oh, it feels kind of gross. Feels a little gross. It's especially wet in the back because that was laying down on my blocking mats. So there we go. Feels a little gross, guys. Okay, so that's it. Let me stand up a little bit. So you can see here's my waist right here. So it's definitely cropped, but I made mine, I think it's supposed to be 9 inches here, or maybe that's, again, I don't know. I should take better notes. I may have made it a little bit longer after splitting for the sleeves and knitting to the bottom. Yeah, I may have. So, but I just love this. This is so easy and so simple to do, but I think it just makes it look so pretty. And I love the fit of this. And so I'll wear it with jeans, as you can see. I mean, I have jeans on today. So it'll look cute with jeans. Let's see if I didn't have this. Yeah. And it's also, because it's kind of cropped, it'll also be good to wear over dresses, which I love to do. So let me take this off because it is, like I said, pretty damp and it feels kind of gross. Okay, so one thing that I've decided I want to do for my hand knit sweaters is to buy some of those fabric sew-in labels to put in the back, because I sometimes have a hard time figuring out which is the front and which is the back, which is why I currently have this little scrap of yarn tied on the back. I know right now it looks like it should be really obvious, and it does because it's fresh off the blocking mat, but I don't wash my knits, my hand knit sweaters, every time I wear them. So I stick them in my drawer, and then the next time I go to put them on, I have to stand there and look and think, okay, is this the front or is this the back? So I've seen where other people will are sewing in, because I used to think, why would I want to put a label in? I don't care. But I've heard, I forget who it was that was saying she sews labels in so she can tell which is the back. So when she's putting it on, she's not standing there like me and staring and trying to figure it out. If you guys know, I'm going to probably just do a search on Etsy, but if any of you have a source for those kind of sew-in fabric labels for your hand knits, let me know. I would love to know, and buy a package of them, and then I'll go back and sew them into all my sweaters. Okay, there we are. I love that sweater so much. I definitely will make more of that pattern, the Felix pullover. And I know there's a Felix cardigan too. I might even do that, because I have some Brooklyn tweed quarry, which is an Aran weight yarn, that would work for that. I could do another pullover, or I could do a cardigan. I think I would choose a cardigan for that particular yarn, because it looks like it's going to be a really warm garment that it makes. And so this is warm, but I feel like that's just going to be super warm. And so I want to have the option of being able to just take it off easily. So I think I might make that into a cardigan, although I have another cardigan that I already bought a pattern for that would work with that yarn. So I don't know what I'll do. Okay, so Felix pullover, Amy Christopher's Barocco Micarta yarn, and I'll put the color, it's just a color number, I'll put it down below in the description box in case you're interested. All right, I only have 2 works in progress that I'm going to talk about. I have more than that, but I'm trying to think. I always have that mitered square blanket, the Cozy Memories blanket. I always have that going, and I just hardly ever want to work on that. But then I also have a colorwork sweater, my camping sweater, that I talked about. When was that? It was probably 2 episodes ago. The Ruska by Jessica McDonald. I haven't touched it. I have 1 arm left to do. I hate to do it. It just fits me really frumpily. So that's why I have not worked on it, because you know how that is. If you're not completely pleased with a knitting project, you just let it sit there. And it was supposed to be my camping sweater to wear around, the campfire at night and in the morning when it's chilly. But it hasn't been yet because I haven't finished it. So other than my memory blanket and that, I actually don't think I have any other projects other than the 2 I'm going to show you now. So I feel like that's pretty impressive. Yay for me. All right, so first I'm going to show you a pair of socks that I'm knitting on. That is not the socks here they are. These are for my son. They were gonna be a birthday present because my son Ian just turned 18 last Thursday. I can't believe this. So Sergey's gonna be 25 next week, Ian's 18, and Lily's 15 and a half. And I know some of you used to read my blog, Making a Home, way back when the kids were really little, before we had even adopted Sergey, because sometimes those of you that had read it back then, you'll make comments about that. And isn't it funny how fast life goes? Okay, so my phone is only giving me like short periods of time to film, and it must be because of my memory in my phone. It's telling me I have 4 minutes. What in the world? Okay, anyway, we'll have to just do 4-minute fragments of filming then. Fine phone, if that's how you're gonna be. Okay, so Ian turned 18, life goes fast, and then my phone shut off. I'm knitting him a pair of socks. They were supposed to be for his 18th birthday, but I did not get them done in time, so now they're gonna be Christmas gifts. They're ribbed. They have like I think I did a 3 by 2, a 3 by 1. It's a 3 by 1 ribbing, and I just did some striping here just to make it a little bit more interesting. I'm using Knit Picks Stroll yarn. These are the 2 colors. This is called Dill Heather, and the brown is Farmhouse Heather. I really like Tweedy yarns, so I'm knitting them on my 9-inch needles like I always do. And for Ian, I usually cast on 64 stitches. So, and I'm using a size 0, US 0. That's what I usually knit with when it comes to socks. So for some reason, these are taking me a really long time, and I'm not sure why. Yeah, I know why, because I'm not working on them very often. Let's just face it. But I don't know why I don't want to work on them very often. I think because I was distracted by the sweater, actually, and another sweater that I'm going to be showing you. That's probably why I haven't been working on this or any other pair of socks, because I've been doing a lot of sweater knitting. Okay, so that's all I really have to say about that. 3 by 1 ribbed socks, Knit Picks Stroll Tweed, and the Dill Heather and Farmhouse Heather colorways. And that is just the first sock. I have to finish that and do the second one still. Okay, this is an accomplishment, friends. This is definitely an accomplishment. I have talked about this cardigan multiple times before. The pattern is in this book, Home and Away by Hannah Fettig. My Georgetown cardigan. I have been knitting this for, I don't know, 2 years at least, maybe longer. It's another one of those things that I've just been bored with. I got bored with it, so I didn't want to work on it. But this summer something got in me, and I just thought, no, I am going to go for it. I'm going to finish this so I have it to wear this fall and winter. So the funny thing is I have it on a round circular, so you're not going to be able to really see. This is a cardigan, but it's all gathered up in the middle because it's on the round, it's on round needles, which I am pulling out of the stitches. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay. So the reason I was just bored with it. It's gray. It's not a real fun color. It's tons of stockinette, and it was knit in pieces and then seamed together. So when I restarted knitting this back in August of this year, just last month, I had the front panels and the back panels done, and I had been working on the sleeves 2 at a time, which I highly suggest knitting sleeves 2 at a time. If you're not, like if you're knitting them flat and then attaching them, that is really good to keep track of where you are so that your sleeves match perfectly. Plus, while it's laborious and tedious going through that, at least when you're done you have 2 sleeves. It's not like you have 1 sleeve and you're like, oh no, I gotta knit the other one. So I know you probably invest the same amount of time. It just feels better to me. So I blocked my back panel and the front panels, And then I thought, all right, that's good. This is going to get me motivated. So when they were done blocking and dry, I seamed them together, and then I just felt motivated then to finish the sleeves. And I made the sleeves long enough that I can fold the cuff over, because this is how I like to wear my sleeves. I think it looks nicer. Oh, I should add, when I knit sweaters, lately I have been casting off, I've been using tubular cast-ons and tubular bind-offs. And I know that they take longer. And I use the sewn tubular bind-off. So I feel like that takes even longer. And when you first learn to do it, it's kind of confusing. But then it's kind of like Kitchener stitch, that once you do it a couple of times, it gets, like, you get the pattern into your head. But it just gives such a nice bind off. It gives such a nice edge. And that's what I did for this sweater. For both the cast on for the neck, as well as the bind off on the sleeves and the body. This one, I did not do a tubular. I just did a stretchy bind off. But yeah, so I got everything pieced together. So now all I have left to do, which is actually quite a bit because it's ribbing, it's 1x1 ribbing, but I'm knitting the shawl collar. So do you get how that's gonna look? Let me show you a picture. And the shawl collar, you have to make it pretty big. Okay, here we go. So see if I can zoom in. That's not showing up. Maybe this one will be more, we'll show it more. See how the shawl collar flips over? So you have to do quite a bit of the 1x1 ribbing the whole way around so that it folds over nicely. And so I'm just persevering through that part right now, and then it'll be finished. And I will be happy. Do you know, it's like a super big load off, even to be this far along in this project. When I've been working on this for so long, it feels really, really good to be this close to being done and knowing that I just stuck with it and I'm gonna finish it. And I know that if I finish the Ruska sweater, I will feel the same way. So I just need to persevere. But anyway, this is Cascade 220 Heathers yarn that I used, and it is a beautiful classic gray color. I knit this because I need a gray cardigan, so it will be worn quite often. Anyway, that is the Georgetown cardigan, Cascade 220 Heathers, color 8401. This is 100% Peruvian Highland yarn. It's very soft. It feels very soft. It feels like it's going to be cozy. I was a little concerned when I seamed everything together. When I seamed everything together, it seemed like it was a bit small, even though I made the size that my bust measurements called for. So I'm really hoping that having the shawl collar and giving that extra length this way will make it feel better and will make it feel more cozy. And if not, then that's all right. I will deal with that then. I highly doubt I will knit this sweater ever again, because it's just been one of those experiences with it. It's not hard, it's just really boring. So this is probably going to be one of those one-time knits. I hope the lighting's okay, because it just keeps getting darker and darker, and I hear thunder, so I'm wondering, I think there's probably a storm coming, but it just seems so dark. But on the phone screen, it looks pretty good, so I'm hoping that it's going to look like that, that it's going to look okay when I edit as well. So the only other thing I have to talk about right now, besides the giveaway, is I went a little crazy on buying some things, guys. I think because it had been such a long time that I had not bought yarn until this summer, that and I worked extra this summer. I worked more than what I normally work during the year. like during the school year. And so I had a little bit of extra money to spend, so I bought some more yarn. One of the things I bought, I have a purpose for. Actually, that's not true. More than one. So let me show you that first. I have heard of Miss Babs yarn. I saw her booth whenever I went to Maryland Sheep and Wool in 2019, but I've never used it. And I saw this pattern come up on my Pinterest, I think, or no, it was an email of some sort. It was an email from somebody who knits about this new pattern called The Woodland Journey by Lisa K. Ross. And I'm gonna put a photo in right here, like her photo of this shawl. Okay, so I saw that photo and I thought, oh my goodness, I love those colors. I love the texture of that shawl. I need to knit that. And I need to get that exact yarn because I love it that much. Those are my colors. Like, those are really my colors. So I'm just going to do it. So I did some investigating, and the yarn that was used for that photo was Miss Babs. And it's a gradient set. And the name of the gradient set is Woodland Journey. Okay, so here comes in this little bag. And you can see the colors on the side there. I'll link this in the bottom in case any of you are interested in this. So I bought this. I love those colors so much. So much. So I will be knitting the Woodland Journey shawl in the Woodland Journey gradient set by Miss Babs. And this is it's her Yummy 2-ply base, which is 100% superwash merino wool. It's a fingering weight. So in this package, there's 2 yards short of 800 yards. So 798 yards total in this package. So that was one of the things I got. The other thing I got was from, I think I was just on Etsy looking around. I'd never heard of this yarn dyer before, but it's Apothecary Fiber Co. And this is a one-of-a-kind. It's a fingering weight. It's 75-25. Yeah. And it was so pretty, and you're probably not going to be able to see, but it's like this, yeah, there you go. Right there. You see, like, tiny little speckles, very subtle speckling, and a really pretty blush pink, and then some taupe or light taupe. Just really beautiful. I probably will use this in a shawl in the future, because I love that blushy pink color. Okay, and then I have something else I want to show you, but I need to grab it, so I'll be right back. Okay, it's in my arms. Okay, this is all sock yarn. This was all bought to make socks for people as Christmas gifts. So 6 skeins. I bought this from the seller on Etsy that I always buy this kind of yarn from, and I'll link it below. I've linked her so many times, but socks for my mom for Christmas, socks for my husband, socks for my son, for my daughter, and for my niece. I hope she doesn't watch this. I just thought, because I know she has in the past. Darn it. Okay, well, that's all right. So anyway, this is all like Regia, and so it's all, and then there's the Super Garn Active. So Regia and the Super Garn, and then this one, I don't even, Chaff Pate? Oh, I know I'm pronouncing that wrong. Anyway, okay, so there was that. These are actually this is very reasonable. This is $13 for this whole thing, $12.95. And this shop, she always offers free shipping, at least in the United States. And the Super Garn Active. And I always have enough to make 2 pairs of socks from one ball of this, because it is Guys, I need reading glasses. Isn't that horrible? Okay. How much? What is it? I can't even see. I need to start wearing reading glasses on my head so I can just put them down when I need them. Oh my goodness. It's $75.25. I can't read it. It's too dark in my room. Sorry. It's a lot. It's enough to make 2 socks. Okay, and then my friend Jody, Flower Hill Fleeces. She's my neighbor. Which is very convenient. Very convenient when you want some yarn. She fixed me up the other night. I texted her last week, or no, it was 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, hey, you got any fall themed yarn? Because, you know, I'd like to knit some fall socks. Well, she's like, well, not really, not yet, but if you have any like ideas, let me know. And so I sent her 2 mood boards, like 2 pictures from Pinterest that I had on my autumn mood board. And I went down over the weekend and picked up a couple skeins. These aren't named. I don't even know if she's going to put these on her website. But here's the first one. So there you go. That's the first one. Maybe I'll put the mood board in that was inspired. I don't know, because I sent her multiple ones, so I don't know which one she actually used. And then this is the second one that she did. And then while I was down there, I saw she had this. Here's her label. And this is called Farm Fresh Eggs, but it's it's more subtle. See, it's got the little speckles, and it's got orange and yellow and some brown. See that? But I thought, wow, that looks really fallish too. I'm going to take that as well, and I'll probably use that in a shawl at some point, because I have some a tonal that would go really good with this in a shawl, a 2-color shawl. And then I may have just went through all of her bins. She gave me these. That is coming across way more hot or neon than it is. This is her honey lavender latte on DK weight. I love this one. I made it I made socks out of this last year. And then this is just a it's called red raspberry. So it's so bright there. I mean, it's bright, but it's way more neon pink on screen than it is in real life. In real life, it's like, it truly does look like a raspberry color. So yes, she gave me that stuff. And then I bought these to make a shawl. Again, this is coming across really pink. So this is going to make a fun, happy shawl in the middle of winter when I need the sun and I don't have any, and I need some color. This is going to be my project. I'm going to make a 2-color shawl. I'm planning ahead, guys. I'm planning ahead. And then this last skein of just the green, which I thought might go good with this, or I might just do something totally different. So as you can see, I totally spoiled myself with yarn. And so I'm done. I'm done buying yarn for a while, because I also received some yarn from a viewer. So a viewer by the name of Kathy sent me this a while ago, and I feel bad because I just forgot about it in my last podcast. But this is a coral. So my Ruska sweater is a coral color, and it's more pink than this, and this is actually showing more peachy on camera than in real life, and it's not showing the depth of it either. Maybe a little bit. You can see like it's a little darker here, a little lighter. This is hand dyed. It's called Nature's Pellet, and it's merino, 100% merino. These are 50 gram skeins. Oh, okay, it just says it's hand dyed with natural dyes, but it doesn't say what it was dyed, what this particular yarn was dyed with. It just says it's coral. But she was observant, and she noticed that I liked coral, and I probably have worn coral when I have filmed, and so she sent me this beautiful yarn. So I'm not sure what I'll do with it, but I will find something to knit with. I'll probably use it with other yarns and make a shawl or something. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe a hat. There's about almost 800 yards with all of these skeins. Oh, I wanted to show you this little bag I got. I know it's backwards because I film the way I film, but this little bag, I got it with my Miss Babs purchase for the Woodland Journey gradient set. Drink coffee, knit faster. I thought that was so funny. It's just a little bag that you could like put a pair of socks in, and it has the drawstring. I just thought that was so funny though. Drink coffee, knit faster. Miss Babs. So that's it for me. I'm going to go edit this now after I make dinner because it is 4:30 in the afternoon. It's gonna probably take a while to edit because my phone's acting weird, and it's only giving me like anywhere from 4 to 6 minutes of film time now, except the first segment I was able to do 30 minutes and then it stopped. I don't know what my phone's doing. It just updated in the middle of the night last night. Maybe it has something to do with that. It could be that I need to delete some photos. I did delete a bunch of videos during this whole filming process, so I don't know. I thought that would maybe make it stop doing that, but it didn't. I'm not really sure. Oh my goodness, I almost forgot the giveaway. Yes, the giveaway. All right, so the giveaway winner, I'm gonna insert a photo because I film on my phone. I can't synchronize the filming and picking the giveaway winner. So I use that commentpicker.com, I think is what it is called. Basically, you put the link in for your video on YouTube and then it randomly picks a comment. And the comment winner was Megan Taylor. I will try to put your name somewhere here on the screen. So if you could please just contact me, and I will put my podcast email down below in the description. If you could contact me and send me your mailing address, that would be fantastic. And I think I will also go leave a message on your comment and do that as well to make sure that you hopefully get it. So, okay. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry. I am sorry that it took a long time, but it's just, I know that you guys are understanding. It's just life. It's how life is. And it's just has been really busy. So I think it would be beneficial to me if I could get on a schedule with my podcasting, because then I wouldn't feel so scrambled in the head when I'm trying to remember things. And so maybe that's something I should consider. I don't know. I know a lot of podcasters do that, but I just seem to go with the flow because I never know how much I'm going to have to talk about or show. So that's basically the problem with that. Yeah, that's all I have to say. It was good to be able to film something finally. I hope you guys are all just enjoying life. I hope you had a fantastic summer. Or I guess if you're in the Western Hemisphere or the Southern Hemisphere, you are coming out of your winter right now, right? So that's fantastic. If you're someone who likes summer, spring and summer like I do. And so anyway, thanks guys for watching. And I just want to say, if you do enjoy this, if you could give me a thumbs up, that would be fantastic. Or subscribe if you haven't already and you would like to get more, see more videos from me. Have a fantastic day, guys. Thank you so much.